Captain Olivia Wright gripped the edges of her command chair as the view screen showed the burning remains of New Horizon Colony. Just 6 hours ago, it had been home to 50,000 people. Now it was a graveyard. "Status report," she said, her voice steady despite the horror unfolding before her. "The alien fleet is continuing its advance, Captain," replied her second-in-command, Lieutenant Chris Adams. "They've destroyed all our defense satellites. No response to any of our communication attempts." The bridge of the EDF Valiant fell silent. They were witnessing humanity's first contact with alien life, and it had begun with an unprovoked massacre. "Record everything and prepare to jump to Earth," Olivia ordered. "Someone needs to warn them." As the Valiant prepared its faster-than-light engines, a message finally came through. It displayed on all screens and devices simultaneously, bypassing all security protocols with ease. "Attention lesser species. We are the Axiom Collective. Your territories are now under our control. Resistance is futile and illogical. Surrender now or face extinction." The message repeated in every human language, leaving no doubt about the aliens' intentions. 3 days later, in the underground war room beneath Geneva, Earth's military leaders gathered to assess the threat. Major Jack Collins stood before them, recently pulled from retirement. His weathered face showed the scars of past conflicts, but none like this. "The Axiom Collective has technology far beyond ours," Jack explained, pointing to holographic projections of the alien ships. "Based on Captain Wright's data, their weapons can manipulate gravity itself. They don't recognize us as equals. To them, we're just another obstacle." Defense Secretary Alan Morgan rubbed his temples. "How long until they reach Earth?" 2 weeks, maybe less," Jack replied. "They're stopping at each colony, taking resources. It's buying us time, but not much." On the other side of the planet, Dr. Samantha Reeves worked frantically in her laboratory at Luna Base. Fragments of alien technology recovered from New Horizon floated in containment fields around her. "Play that footage again, Peter," she said to her assistant. The video showed an Axiom soldier. It moved with strange, fluid motions, its body covered in what looked like shifting metal plates. When struck by human weapons, the plates simply absorbed the impact. "There's something odd about their biology," Samantha muttered, zooming in on the footage. "Their reaction to water. They avoid it completely. And look at this spectral analysis." Her assistant leaned closer. "Silicon-based." "Yes," she said, excitement building in her voice. "Not carbon-based like us. That could give us an advantage." Back on Earth, thousands of people crowded in streets, watching news reports about the approaching alien fleet. Some prayed, some prepared for war, others for the end. In his small apartment in Chicago, former combat engineer Kyle Bennett watched the reports with growing anger. When his phone rang with a military recall code, he answered immediately. "Bennett," he said. "Kyle, it's Jack Collins. I need your expertise on a special project. How fast can you get to Colorado?" "For you, sir. I can be there tomorrow." As the Axiom fleet destroyed the Mars colonies, Captain Wright's ship rejoined what remained of Earth's space fleet. 500 ships against thousands of alien vessels. "We can't win this conventionally," Admiral Frank Peterson told the assembled captains via secure channel. "But we won't surrender without a fight." Olivia looked at the tactical display, showing the overwhelming alien force. "With all due respect, Admiral, we need something unconventional. These aliens think in straight lines, logical, predictable. We need to be the opposite." In her lab, Samantha made a breakthrough. The alien materials reacted violently to specific sound frequencies. "It disrupts their molecular structure," she explained to her team. "If we can weaponize this." As Earth prepared for the coming storm, the Axiom Collective approached with absolute confidence. They had conquered 100 worlds before this one. Humans would fall like all the others. They didn't know that humans would rather die fighting than live as slaves. They didn't know about humanity's secret weapon, unpredictability. The Axiom thought they were unstoppable. Humanity was about to prove them wrong. The sky above Earth turned black with axiom ships. Humanity's united fleet, the largest ever assembled, looked tiny compared to the alien armada. Commander Ryan Patterson stood on the bridge of Earth's flagship, the Defender, watching as the battle began. "All ships, engage as planned," he ordered. "Focus fire on their lead vessels." Earth's ships fired everything they had. Missiles, energy weapons, and experimental gravity disruptors all launched at once. For a moment, hope flared as several axiom ships exploded. Then the aliens responded. The axiom ships released strange dark spheres that expanded rapidly. Inside these spheres, Earth ships crumpled like paper toys. The gravity weapons were pulling them apart from the inside. "Evasive maneuvers," Ryan shouted, but it was too late for many ships. On the Valiant, Captain Olivia Wright watched as the orbital defense stations fell one by one. "We can't win this fight," she said to Lieutenant Adams. "Signal all remaining ships. Fall back to defense pattern Omega. We need to buy time for the evacuations." Below on Earth's surface, panic spread. Millions rushed to underground bunkers built in the 2 weeks since first contact. Major Jack Collins supervised the evacuation of Washington, D.C., directing people into the vast tunnels beneath the city. "Keep moving," he shouted over the noise of distant explosions. "The bunkers can hold everyone if we stay organized." A mother carrying a crying baby stumbled. Jack caught her before she fell. "You'll be safe below," he promised, helping her to her feet. "We prepared for this." But they hadn't prepared enough. The axiom weapons were beyond anything humanity had imagined. The orbital battle lasted only 6 hours before half of Earth's fleet was destroyed. Lieutenant Kelly Martinez piloted her fighter through the wreckage of space stations and destroyed ships. Her squadron had been reduced from 12 pilots to just her. An axiom fighter pursued her, its weapons grazing her ship. "Not today," she muttered, suddenly cutting her engines. The alien ship shot past her, not expecting the maneuver. Kelly fired her remaining missiles, hitting the enemy ship directly. To her surprise, the alien vessel didn't explode but spun out of control, systems failing. "Command, this is Martinez," she called. "I've disabled an enemy ship. There's something about their reaction to our electromagnetic weapons. Request permission to recover the ship for study." On Luna Base, Dr. Samantha Reeves worked frantically as the battle raged above Earth. Her team had discovered that certain sound frequencies disrupted axiom technology, but they had no way to deploy this discovery in time. "We need weeks, not hours," she told her assistant Peter. "If we could just hold them off a little longer." An alert sounded. The lab's sensors detected a massive energy buildup in the axiom fleet. "They're preparing their final attack," Peter said, voice breaking. Then, unexpectedly, the energy readings stopped. The axiom halted their advance. A new message broadcast worldwide. "Humans of Earth, your resistance, while futile, exceeds parameters of previous conquered species. We offer terms: complete surrender within 30 Earth days. All military assets to be abandoned. All resources to be made available. Compliance will allow a portion of your population to survive as laborers. Non-compliance will result in extinction." In Geneva, Earth's leaders gathered again to consider their options. "Why would they stop?" asked Secretary Morgan. "They had us beaten." Jack Collins shook his head. "They want something specific. This isn't just about territory." At that moment, Kelly Martinez arrived with data recovered from her encounter with the axiom ship. The readings showed unusual electrical patterns in the alien vessel's systems. "Their technology is vulnerable to certain types of disruption," she explained. "It's not much, but it's a start." Commander Ryan Patterson, one of the few senior officers to survive the space battle, stood up. "We have 30 days. We make each one count." Olivia Wright, her ship now hiding in Earth's shadow, sent a coded message to surviving Earth vessels. "This isn't over. Regroup at the Mars backup base. We're going underground." The axiom thought their victory was assured. They didn't realize that humanity was at its most dangerous when backed into a corner. 3 months had passed since Earth's surrender. The Axiom now controlled all major cities. Their tall metal towers rose from the ruins of human buildings. Alien ships patrolled the skies constantly. But humanity had not given up. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in an old submarine base expanded in secret, William Hayes looked at the maps spread before him. The former Navy SEAL had gathered a team of survivors, soldiers, and civilians alike. "The Axiom think they've won," he told the group. "That's their first mistake." The resistance operated from hidden bases, underwater facilities, old mine systems, and secret bunkers on Mars that the aliens had overlooked. They communicated using old radio technology that the Axiom ignored as primitive. In one such base, Dr. Samantha Reeves made an important discovery. "Look at this," she said to her team, pointing at a sample of Axiom technology under a microscope. "Their systems aren't just affected by sound. They react badly to certain types of electromagnetic radiation too." She played a specific frequency, and the alien material vibrated, then cracked. "They're silicon-based life forms. This disrupts their neural patterns." Meanwhile, Jack Collins worked with engineers in a hidden facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. They had managed to salvage pieces of Axiom technology from downed ships. "If we can reverse engineer these gravity weapons," he said, "we might stand a chance." Kyle Bennett, the combat engineer, examined a small device they had captured. "Their power systems are unlike anything I've seen. It's like they draw energy directly from space itself." On the surface, life under Axiom rule was harsh. Humans were forced to work in mines and factories. The aliens seemed particularly interested in rare minerals and biological samples. Daniel Pierce, a civilian scientist, pretended to cooperate with the aliens. They had put him to work in one of their research facilities because of his knowledge of human biology. "We need more specimens," an Axiom overseer told him, its voice a strange mechanical sound through its translator. "Particularly humans with high adrenaline production." Daniel nodded, hiding his disgust and fear. "I'll prepare a list of suitable candidates." But instead, he carefully recorded everything he saw. The Axiom were collecting human adrenal glands and blood samples. They seemed fascinated by how humans reacted to fear and stress. That night, Daniel transmitted his findings to the Resistance using a device hidden in his shoe. William Hayes received the message at the underwater base. "They're studying how we respond to stress," he told his team. "But why?" One of his analysts, Sofia Garcia, had a theory. "Maybe they don't understand emotions. From what we've seen, they act as a collective, like insects. They don't show individual feelings." In space, Captain Olivia Wright commanded a stealth ship hiding among the asteroids beyond Mars. Her crew had modified the vessel to absorb radar and other detection methods. "We've spotted another Axiom mining operation," her sensor officer reported. "They're stripping Jupiter's moons of resources." "Keep watching," Olivia ordered. "We need to understand their supply lines." On Luna Base, now controlled by the aliens, Dr. Reeves' assistant Peter worked undercover. He secretly sent data to the Resistance about Axiom movements and technologies. One day, he overheard two Axiom officers communicating. Their translation devices were off, but Peter had learned to understand some of their clicking language. "The humans are unpredictable," one alien said. "They act against their own interests sometimes." "Illogical," the other replied. "The collective will correct this flaw." Peter realized something important. The aliens couldn't understand human emotions and individual thinking. They found it confusing. When he reported this to William Hayes, the Resistance leader smiled for the first time in months. "That's it," he said. "That's their weakness. They expect logic and predictability. We'll give them chaos instead." The Resistance now had a plan. Operation Wildcard would begin in 1 week. The Axiom wouldn't know what hit them. Captain Olivia Wright guided her stealth ship beyond Neptune's orbit, far from Axiom patrols. Her crew had been mapping alien movements for weeks, looking for patterns or weaknesses. "Captain, you need to see this," said her navigator, pointing to a strange signal on their sensors. They approached slowly, using the ice clouds of Neptune for cover. There, floating in space, was a structure unlike anything human or axiom. It was ancient, its surface covered in strange symbols. "An alien outpost," Olivia whispered, "but not axiom." After careful scans showed no life signs, Olivia led a team inside. The air was stale but breathable. They found control panels covered in dust, untouched for perhaps thousands of years. "This technology is incredible," said her engineer, running his hands over the symbols. To everyone's surprise, the panels lit up at his touch. A hologram appeared, showing star systems and alien texts. As they watched, the images shifted to show axiom ships attacking world after world. This outpost was built to monitor the axiom, Olivia realized. Whoever made it was tracking their conquests. They downloaded all the data they could find, including schematics for weapons designed specifically to counter axiom technology. Back on Earth, Jack Collins and Lieutenant Kelly Martinez tested a new weapon based on Dr. Reed's research. The device emitted frequencies that disrupted axiom systems. "If this works," Jack said, "we can disable their ships without destroying them." They set up the test near an axiom patrol route. When a small alien craft passed overhead, Kelly activated the device. The effect was immediate. The axiom ship wobbled in the air, then crashed into a field. "It worked," Kelly exclaimed. They approached the downed craft carefully. Inside, they found an axiom officer, still alive but disoriented. They captured it and brought it to a secure resistance base for questioning. The alien was different up close. Its body was covered in shifting plates that seemed both mechanical and biological. Its eyes were large and black, with no visible emotion. Dr. Reeves studied the prisoner. "Its neural patterns are fascinating," she told the others. "They're completely different from ours. No emotional centers at all." William Hayes interrogated the alien for days, learning more about the Axiom Collective. He discovered something unexpected. The aliens were afraid of humans. "Your species is unpredictable," the Axiom officer said in its mechanical voice. "You act against logic. This is dangerous." "What do you mean?" William asked. "All other species we encountered followed predictable patterns. When threatened, they either fought directly or surrendered completely. Humans do neither. Some fight, some hide, some pretend to cooperate while planning resistance. This is not normal. This is chaotic." William smiled. "That's just human nature." The aliens seemed disturbed by this concept. Individual nature is irrelevant. The collective decides. All members obey. Daniel Pierce continued his undercover work in the Axiom Research Facility. He discovered the purpose of the aliens' interest in human adrenal glands. "They're trying to understand how we perform under stress," he reported to the Resistance. "How we can be creative and adaptive when threatened. They can't comprehend it." The Axiom had evolved in a hive society where individual thought didn't exist. Each member was born knowing its role and never questioned the collective. The concept of individuals making their own choices was alien to them. With this knowledge, the Resistance formulated a new plan. If the Axiom couldn't handle unpredictability, that's exactly what humans would give them. Kyle Bennett built devices that created random electronic signals, confusing Axiom communications. Resistance fighters attacked in patterns that made no logical sense, sometimes retreating when they had the advantage, other times fighting when outnumbered. The Axiom didn't know how to respond. Their carefully calculated strategies fell apart against human unpredictability. When Captain Wright returned from the outer system with the ancient alien data, hope spread through the Resistance. For the first time, they had a real chance against the seemingly unstoppable enemy. They thought they knew everything about conquest, Olivia told the Resistance leaders, but they've never faced humans before. Operation Wildcard began at dawn. Across the globe, Resistance fighters attacked Axiom positions in ways that defied all logic and prediction. Some groups charged directly at heavily armed aliens. Others set off explosions with no strategic value. Some even played loud music and retreated immediately. The Axiom commanders couldn't understand the pattern because there was no pattern. In London, William Hayes led a team through abandoned subway tunnels. They planted devices that emitted the frequencies Dr. Reeves had discovered. When activated, nearby Axiom soldiers froze in confusion, their silicon-based neural systems disrupted. "Move in now," William ordered. His fighters quickly overwhelmed the disoriented aliens. Above Moscow, Kelly Martinez piloted a rebuilt human fighter equipped with technology from the ancient alien outpost. The weapons didn't destroy Axiom ships. They simply disabled them. "This is like shooting fish in a barrel," she radioed to other pilots. 5 Axiom patrol ships drifted helplessly through the air, their systems fried by her weapons. In Berlin, Jack Collins directed a strange battle. His fighters would advance, then suddenly retreat for no apparent reason, only to attack again from a different direction. The Axiom forces kept repositioning to match what they thought were human tactics, only to find themselves outmaneuvered every time. "They're trying to find the logic in what we're doing," Jack told his second-in-command. "They'll never find it because we're being deliberately illogical." Captain Olivia Wright returned from the outer system, with 3 ships now equipped with the ancient alien technology. They struck Axiom orbital platforms with surgical precision, disabling rather than destroying them. "We need those intact," she reminded her crew. "The more of their technology we capture, the better we understand them." Underground, Dr. Reeves made another breakthrough. Using data from the captured Axiom officer and the ancient alien outpost, she completed work on a device that could broadcast disrupting frequencies across entire continents. "If this works," she told her team, "we can disable all Axiom forces simultaneously." Daniel Pierce continued his undercover work. He heard Axiom commanders discussing the human attacks with something close to panic in their mechanical voices. "The humans are not following combat protocols," one said. "They attack without proper force ratios. They retreat when winning. They sacrifice positions of no strategic value. The collective cannot predict their actions," another replied. "This is concerning." Daniel smiled to himself. The aliens' greatest weakness was now clear. They couldn't handle anything that didn't follow their logical patterns. In the Rocky Mountains, William Hayes led a major assault on an Axiom research facility. The alien guards fell quickly, confused by the humans' tactics. Inside, they found rows of chambers containing humans being experimented on. As they freed the prisoners, William noticed other containers holding different alien species. "They're not just experimenting on humans," he realized. "These are other aliens the Axiom conquered." One alien prisoner, a tall being with 4 arms and golden skin, spoke to them in broken English. "My people, Krell, fought Axiom 10 cycles ago. Lost. You humans, fight different. May win." William helped the alien stand. "Will you help us?" The Krell nodded. "Axiom destroyed our world. We help you save yours." They freed more alien prisoners. The blue-skinned Vorn, the insect-like Treks, and others. All had been conquered by the Axiom, their civilizations destroyed or enslaved. Dr. Reeves was fascinated by the alien allies. "Each species has different abilities we can use against the Axiom," she said. "The Vorn can see energy patterns invisible to us. The Treks can communicate without technology." With their new allies and weapons, humanity's resistance grew stronger. For the first time, the Axiom began to lose ground. In their command ship orbiting Earth, the Axiom Supreme Commander faced an unfamiliar sensation: doubt. "The humans continue to defy prediction," it told the Collective Council. "Our models cannot account for their behavior." The Axiom had never encountered anything like humans before. They were starting to realize they might have made a terrible mistake in attacking Earth. The tide was turning. Across Earth, Humans and their new alien allies pushed back against the Axiom forces. Cities began to fall back into human hands. The resistance was now a true army, growing stronger each day. Jack Collins stood in the rebuilt command center beneath Geneva, studying the global battle map. Red dots showing Axiom control were being replaced by blue human-controlled areas at an increasing rate. They're falling back to defensive positions, he told the gathered leaders. For the first time, they're reacting to us instead of dictating the terms of battle. Dr. Reeves entered with exciting news. The virus is ready, she announced. For weeks, she had worked with scientists from the freed alien races to develop a digital virus that could infect and disrupt the Axiom's silicon-based neural networks. The Krell had provided key insights into Axiom biology, while the Vorn understood their technology. It needs to be uploaded directly to their main command ship, she explained. Their network is isolated. We can't transmit it remotely. A dangerous mission, but essential. If they could disable the Axiom command structure, their forces would be thrown into disarray. Captain Olivia Wright volunteered immediately. My stealth ship can get close enough, she said. We'll need a distraction, though. Commander Ryan Patterson, who had been rebuilding Earth's space fleet, had a plan. We'll give them the biggest distraction they've ever seen. A full-scale attack on their orbital platforms. On the surface, William Hayes and his teams prepared for the final push. Humanity's remaining military forces merged with the resistance. Their ranks now included thousands of freed aliens, all united against their common enemy. Kyle Bennett had modified Dr. Reeves' frequency weapons for mass production. Every fighter now carried devices that could disrupt Axiom neural systems. Remember, William told his troops, unpredictability is our greatest weapon. Don't follow standard tactics. Be creative. Be human. The counterattack began with a massive solar flare, artificially triggered by technology from the ancient alien outpost. The electromagnetic pulse temporarily blinded Axiom sensors, giving Patterson's fleet the cover they needed to launch from hidden bases on the Moon and Mars. In space, hundreds of human ships, cobbled together from salvaged parts and enhanced with alien technology, engaged the Axiom fleet. Lieutenant Kelly Martinez led a squadron of fighters, dancing between enemy ships with impossible maneuvers. They can't predict what they don't understand, she told her pilots. Fly like you've lost your mind. As the space battle raged, Captain Wright's stealth ship slipped past the Axiom defenses. Her small craft approached the massive Axiom command ship, using the chaos of battle as cover. Docking successful, reported her pilot as they attached to a maintenance port. We have 15 minutes before their security systems detect us. Olivia led a small team inside, carrying Dr. Reeves' virus in a specially shielded device. They moved through the alien corridors, avoiding patrols. The interior of the Axiom ship was strange. Half mechanical, half biological, with walls that seemed to pulse with life. They reached the central network hub, but found it heavily guarded. There was no way to approach undetected. We need a new plan, Olivia whispered. Thinking like a human. Unpredictably, she did something no Axiom would expect. She walked directly toward the guards, hands raised. I'm here to surrender, she announced. The confused guards hesitated just long enough for her hidden team members to strike from different directions. In the chaos, they fought their way to the network terminal. Olivia plugged in the device containing the virus. The terminal lit up as the virus began uploading. An alarm sounded. More guards approached. We'll hold them off, said her second-in-command. Finish the upload. The virus reached 80% complete when the first guards broke through. Olivia knew she had one chance. She covered the device with her body as energy weapons fired. The pain was intense, but she held position. For Earth, she whispered as the upload reached 100%. Throughout the Axiom fleet, ships suddenly lost power. Alien soldiers froze mid-motion. Their perfect logical network collapsed under the virus's chaotic, unpredictable code. The Axiom Collective experienced something entirely new. Fear. 3 weeks after the Great Battle, Earth began to breathe again. The Axiom fleet had retreated in disarray, their perfectly coordinated military reduced to scattered, confused units. Without their command structure, they could not function as a collective. In Geneva, world leaders gathered alongside representatives from the freed alien species. Jack Collins, now promoted to admiral, addressed the assembly. "We've won this battle, but the war isn't over," he said. "The Axiom still control hundreds of star systems. Billions of beings remain under their rule." Daniel Pierce, no longer undercover, presented his findings. "From the data in their research facilities, we know the Axiom Empire spans at least 300 worlds. Many species have been enslaved for centuries." The Krell ambassador stood, his golden skin reflecting the light. "My people will fight alongside humans. You have proven that the Axiom can be defeated. This gives hope to all conquered species." Representatives from each freed alien race pledged their support. The Vorn offered their advanced sensor technology. The Treks provided knowledge of subspace communications. Together, they began forming a coalition unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. Dr. Reeves established a multi-species scientific council. "By sharing our knowledge, we can develop technologies that none of us could create alone," she explained. "The Axiom succeeded because they fought each species separately. Together, we are stronger." They met in a new facility built from the remains of an Axiom tower. The symbolism was clear. What once represented oppression now housed cooperation and hope. The funeral for Captain Olivia Wright was held with full military honors. Her sacrifice had made the victory possible. Commander Ryan Patterson, who had led the space battle, spoke at the ceremony. "Olivia understood what makes humanity special," he said. "Not our technology or our strength, but our unpredictability, our creativity, our willingness to try the impossible. These are things the Axiom could never understand, and why they ultimately failed." In orbit, human engineers worked alongside alien technicians to rebuild Earth's defenses. They incorporated technology from all allied species, creating systems the Axiom had never encountered before. William Hayes and Lieutenant Kelly Martinez prepared for the next phase. They would lead the first mission beyond our solar system, to liberate a nearby star system from Axiom control. "We'll use what we learned here," Kelly told the volunteer crews. "Be unpredictable, be creative, be human." Their ships were unlike anything seen before, a mix of human, Krell, Vorn, and Trek's technology, enhanced with discoveries from the ancient alien outpost. The fleet represented the new coalition, a symbol of unity among formerly separate species. Kyle Bennett put the final touches on the flagship's systems. "They're beautiful, aren't they?" he said to Jack as they watched the ships prepare for departure. "Not just the technology, but what they represent." Jack nodded. The Axiom thought that their logic and uniformity made them superior. They never understood that diversity and unpredictability are strengths, not weaknesses. As the Liberation Fleet prepared to depart, Dr. Reeves gave them one last gift, an improved version of her virus that could spread through entire Axiom networks. "Remember," she told William and Kelly, "you're not just fighting for Earth anymore. You're fighting for all free species." The ships launched into space, heading for distant stars. On their hulls, a new symbol, a human hand clasped with various alien appendages, surrounded by stars. Below it, words in multiple languages that all meant the same thing: freedom for all. The Axiom had believed themselves unstoppable, a perfect collective that could not be defeated. They had conquered hundreds of worlds with their superior technology and rigid, logical tactics. But they had never encountered humans before. Beings who thrived on chaos, who turned unpredictability into a weapon, who fought hardest when victory seemed impossible. The Axiom thought they knew everything about conquest. Humanity had proven them wrong.